Hey everyone, this is Tom from MonTac here, and we are back at it again with another match of the week. This time we have got a Pro B matchup between a Rank 3 Vascanatomy and Rank 6 Bob. And we are starting it off with a roll of 5 and Droid Jammer from Vascanatomy. Vascanatomy, known for using Rogue Beasts, has recently made the switch to droids. A bit more of a basic deck droids. Basically, there's a bunch of class 2 monsters with ridiculous power. However, they have the drawback that if you roll a 6 while they're in play, they just blow up. So it's a very fun, very basic deck, but does have a little bit of risk. On the opposing side, we've got Bob, potentially trying out a brand new deck, or they could be sticking with their impact. We're going to see exactly what they're going to be bringing to this matchup. We're going to start with a 3000 beat stick slot droid. To put that in perspective, slot droid, or generally stuff on that class 2s are 500. So to be 3000 is just insane. Again, beverage droid, another great card from Vascanatomy. This is a card that allows you to revive droids during your preparation stage. But, yeah, it does have the issue that even if you roll a 5, it will die as well. Ooh, that 4, cutting it so close. But lucky for Vascanatomy, they have a card called Droid Jammer in play. Droid Jammer is a card that allows them to, when played, search their deck for any droid card added to their hand. Ooh, this could be a mecha face-off right now. We've got Gear, Mecha Unification from Bob here. I'll just continue on that Droid Jammer there. What that does is it basically says, during your enemy's turn, any rolls they make can't kill your droids. It is a fantastic card to limit the likelihood of losing your board space or just your board presence in general. And anyway, just continuing, we've got Bob here going in with a Mecha Unification. This allows them to add any Mecha type card from the deck to their hand. That card can be played regardless of class. Interestingly, we're going into a Steel Edge Cannon Templar. So this could be a Steel Edge versus Droid matchup. I'll have to see how things play out here. So Cannon Templar is going to be coming out. But at what cost? They're going to send 2 cards from deck. Okay, we've got a Slicer Kid. And we're going to grab a Slot Droid. So that's going to give it a 3000 plus 1100 boost. 4100 boost. It's going to go to 5850. Holy smokes, that thing is huge. Okay, this is going to get very scary very quickly. Rising Mechanism level 1 hits the field. So this could be Steel Edge Mechanism right here from Bob. I heard they might be using something similar to this, but I was not sure they were ready for it competitively, but here they are, ready to go. We've got Mechanisms going rampant. Level 2 hits the field now. Going into level 3. Here we go. Level 3 hits the field. Bob comboing off. Is this their brand new main deck? We'll see if they're going to do anything additional as well. The key thing here is going to be really beating over those droids and not letting them become a problem for Bob. But, ooh, we're going to go into Wristblade Mechanized. That I definitely did not see coming. I thought Bob would stick with something a little bit more Steel Edge orientated, but it seems they're really going into that Mechanizeds package. Going Scheming Mechanized from Wristblade Mechanized. This will allow them to remove the specialty of a monster in play. And then they can add 1000 to another Mechanism monster they command, which will probably be level 3. Yeah, and sending that Scheming Mechanism will give additional attacks to each mecha type. We can already start to see the formation forming. Did they boost up Templar? Oh, okay. If you do, you may have one Mechanism monster. Okay, so they didn't boost anything in play. Interesting. That would be definitely a misplay there from Bob, but tough there. Okay, so Slot Droid is going to be attacked by Cannon Templar. Okay, just calculating now. Alright, so we've got a massive Templar on the field. Bob has got a decent amount of attacks on board. If this goes through, they can bring Vascanatomy down to 1 health. It will not be lethal, but boy is it close. Vascanatomy will have to see if they have any way of dealing with this. And if they don't, they will be left with almost nothing left health-wise. Currently the situation is, if you're in a Mechanized player, they do not have a current Apex, so we're probably going to be expecting some splicing in with Steel Edge here. We're going to go Titan Destroyer Sword in response to the Templar challenge. That will bring it up to 4,500, which is not quite enough. Outcast Axe on top of that. Holy smokes. Does Bob have the counter? 6,100, baby. That is huge. That is literally a 250 difference. Cannon Templar is gone. Vascanatomy survives, but at what cost? Losing both of their power-ups. It does mean their monster can't be attacked for the rest of this turn, but they can still engage that cheeky little beverage droid. If Vascanatomy has another power-up, then this could be very brutal for Bob. Okay, beverage is gone. Going to hand refill. Passing it over. Vascanatomy has the floor. Now, the thing is, they can still die if they roll a high number, but luckily for Vascanatomy, Bob actually specialty moved their slot droid, which means it can't die to its own specialty, which means he's going to have that 3,000 beat stick, sorry, 4,500 beat stick around for a little bit longer. Okay, so it's 2,700 on that Mechanism level 3. Vascanatomy's going to have to think about how they're going to circumvent this. Beverage droid hits the field. Beverage droid going into another beverage droid. The combos continue. Roll of 3. He's got enough to deal with the Mechanism level 3, and he has enough to deal with Wristblade. Unfortunate there from Bob to miss that power up from Wristblade, but at this stage there's nothing else he can do. What's he got to respond to this? It's a roll of 3. It's gone. Okay, we're going to go slot droid over the level 3. Bob facing some trouble right now. Hammer down, which can bring a monster in play back to its original value, which will drop the slot droid down to 3,000, but it's still too low. And then we're going to respond with a Bear Soldier. Wow, the combos. That's basically a card you can play during either player's turn, regardless of class. If your enemy has more monsters in play, you can drop it and lower your enemy's monsters by 500. Very good battle tactic, and it will be enough just to give it a slight edge over droid, bringing it down to 2,500. It's a good play from Bob, but if this fails, it could be crucial. Vascanatomy seems undeterred and goes regen. Oh, that's rough there for Bob. Bob is going to have to figure out another way to deal with that slot droid, as slot droid rises back up to 3,000, opposing its 2,700 Mechanized. Once again, that Wristblade miss is crucial. That would have been a 3,700 Mechanized otherwise. That is rough. Okay, and its specialty is returned, however. So that is something interesting as well. Because especially he's returned, it means that on Vascanatomy's next few turns, if they should roll that 6, they will lose Slot Droid again, because especially he's been reinstated due to regeneration. This is a very tough spot now. Now the good thing is, I mean, I'm pretty sure Vascanatomy can still beat over that bear. So it's not necessarily really lethal for Bob, but he's definitely lost in terms of an exchange of this turn. Bob's going to need to really start to flip this match very quickly. We're going to go to cooldown. We're going to sack 3, getting rid of Droid Jammer. That is definitely a good play there from Bob, because if they can roll a 5 on Bob's next turn, that will shift this match dramatically. Even a 5 and a 6 would be optimal at best. Let's see what Bob rolls. 1. Oh dear, this could be a death sentence for Bob. With such a low roll, that does limit them a heck of a lot in terms of what they can play from their hand, and with so little in their perish pile. Well, actually, they've got a couple of little things in their perish pile. They could probably get a couple things out. Ooh, we're going to go into Critter. Axe Head Critter, classic card, allows it to sacrifice itself. Also, just when it's played, it adds a mecha type monster from your deck to your hand. Once a copy of this card, when it's selected by an effect, specialty, or super skill while in the perish pile, you may have a monster you command gain 300 power until it perishes. And we're going into a second Templar. This is very interesting. So we're going to go into a second Templar. Templar is going to hit the field. This allows them to send 2 more cards. We're going to send another Slicer Kid, and we're going to send 1 more card. Let's see what they pick. What are we picking? Going Mono Blader. Sacking a health point to add any card from the deck to their hand. Incredibly useful to deal with a very tough opponent. And we're going to go Axehead Genesis. Okay, this is huge. Axehead Genesis is a card that allows you to get out Axehead creature far easy, which allows for very optimal board wipes. And droids do not have much removal at all. Holy smokes, we could be seeing something quite ruthless popping up very soon. So they're going to use both their Slicer Kits to make all the cards in their perish pile into synergy monsters. Very strong play there. How many Steel Edge do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4. They've only got 4 at the moment. They're going to need a little bit more if they want to get Axehead off online. But they still do have a Cannon Templar at 3650. That's not bad at all. We're going to go Axehead Genesis. Can be played regardless of class by sending an Axehead creature from monster from the in-play deck or hand to the perish pile. If they do, play it from their hand regardless of class with the power doubled until it perishes. When Axehead Genesis dies, they can then revive another Axehead creature from perish pile. So it's yeah, it's pretty crazy. 2600 is not too bad, and when it dies, they will be able to get Axehead into play. The issue is you don't want Axehead out right now because I believe it requires Steel Edge synergy monsters, and they only have 4 last I counted. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure they've only got 4. So he's going to have to be really careful about when he goes into this. Templar is going to engage the middle beverage droid. Interesting choice there. I guess he doesn't have enough to deal with the big slot droid. Hopefully he can keep that Genesis alive for a little bit longer. The big thing with Axehead creatures, to get off its board wipe, you need 6 Steel Edge synergy monsters in the perish pile just to get the board wipe. And then to get the additional power and additional attacks, then you need to have 8 or more. So Bob is going to have to be in a bit of a rush to get that condition met, but once he does, he'll be in a very good spot to take advantage of this game towards the middle and end. Roll of 3 for Vascanatomy. Again, Slot Droid stays standing. The Sentinel that is keeping Vascanatomy's hopes of winning this match alive. 4,500 is just monolithic. It is just crazy right now to be dealing with that kind of situation. Steel Edge known to be quite of a strong deck itself in terms of power. Never one to really lack power. Forced into a tough position here against this droid opponent. Roll of 3. If you're in Vascanatomy's shoes, you may choose to go into a synergy. However, you have to be aware that Steel Edge do love them some synergies. So it's it's gonna be a tough here for Vascanatomy if they want to take over. Taking their time, they have to make the most of this opportunity before they reach that mid to late game. The setup here is incredibly crucial. Weighing up their options now. I'm going to go into Mirror Droid. Interesting choice there. Mirror Droid is not necessarily the best option, but it's not a bad one either. Basically what it does allows them to copy the specialty of another droid in play, which in this case probably wouldn't be the best, because copying Slot Droid would really only just give you the on-perish specialty, and they're still going to do it. Okay, so they're going to copy Slot Droid. I'm not going to say I agree with that combo, that play, but I guess it's the only play he had. Let's see what he can do. It does mean that when Mirror dies, hold on. Okay, so we're building momentum. Alright, so Mirror Droid, basically when it perishes, you can add another droid card from the deck to the hand. But right after that, we're going to go into Deltro, which by discarding a card allows you to play it regardless of class. In this case, it will give additional attacks to all the monsters Vascanatomy commands. And they're also going to have a specialty detonation soldier discarded, allowing them to specially move a monster in play. I would be hitting Genesis if possible. But the issue will... Yep, they're going to hit Genesis with that. That is definitely the right play. Vascanatomy choosing correctly. That means that when Axe Head perishes, they will no longer be able to revive the creature. This also means that its power is removed. A 1300 monster is much easier to deal with now. It also means Vascanatomy has the right tools to get through Bob's field, and win this game this turn. For all we know, this could be the very last turn of this matchup right away. Roll of 3. Everything. We have 6 attacks on board. Only needs 1 to get through to win this matchup. We're going to get engaged, the Templar. Hammer down once again, comes down, dropping Slot Droid to 3,000. Huge play from Bob if they can get this win. Does that go through? Rage Release. Holy smokes. Not one to be outdone. That's going to multiply Slot Droid by 4, bringing it up to a total of 12,000. Bringing down Templar. Holy smokes. Bob is in trouble. Bob is in trouble. We've got 5 attacks left. We'll have to see if they've prepared for this. Anything else from Vascanatomy? Engaging Genesis. If Bob loses this, this could be huge. Regen on the Genesis, which will allow them to revive an Axe Head on its perishing. It also will reach 2,600, but the problem is they will not be able to use the board wipe off of Axe Head creature. Unfortunately, they will not get the board wipe. But does Bob know that? They have have just missed that. I'm just going to put that in there now. They've missed it. It mentions Steel Edge. If they have a read of Axe Head creature, it requires Steel Edge synergy monsters. Just so it requires Steel Edge synergy. So they do not have enough to resolve Axe Head here. Which means no board wipe. Which will shut that off now. Brutal for Bob. Very difficult situation here. Bob is now having to face the realization they do not have enough to get Axe Head online. With Axe Head not online, they will have to play it out at 1600 with no boost. That is rough. But it's better than not playing anything, so at least it's in play. I believe the slot droid cannot attack anymore, so at least it's a decent stat. Very tough there from Bob. Vascanatomy looking very menacing this turn. With such a falter, is this the end of Bob? Will they be losing this matchup? Okay, Vascanatomy still has 4 more attacks. Where will Vascanatomy go? Just calculating now what they can attack with left. They're going to engage the Axe Head creature. This will take it down. Deltro engages anything else. Going after Critter. Takes it down. If Bob can't defend this, it is over. Mirror Droid going for lethal. Is this the end of Bob? Is it over? Has he been defeated? Or did he prepare? We're about to find out. Here we go! Mechanism level 4 hits the field, requiring level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 4 is online. Synergy hits the field and uses its specialty to board wipe Vascanatomy's entire field. That might have been a misplay there from Bob, but in this situation they could be flustered. We'll have to see if they've got another regen to keep that mechanism online, but at this stage it will die to its own specialty. Droid Eye is in play. Them going to hand, which means even if Bob did not do that, so I guess if you're in Bob's situation, you probably should have not dropped the sleeper skill on mechanism level 4, because they still would have been too big for anything like Deltro. But I can understand from Bob's perspective. Actually, I guess they had slot droid later on. Yeah, I guess better than waiting. Bob just took the win there and is going to board wipe Vascanatomy. Shouldn't have said took the win there. Sorry if I confused anybody. He is just going to board wipe them all and then going to Blitz Magnum on, I think it's on their turn, or it might be on cooldown. Yes, it might be on the cooldown of Vascanatomy, which means when it comes into play, that Blitz Magnum will be gigantic. Allow them to do a bunch of crazy shenanigans. Gonna roll for turn, they get the 5. 5 would have been good to deal with some droids, but at this stage, they're gonna have to use it to launch their next assault. Vascanatomy standing strong at 5 health points. Bob... yeah, Bob is gonna be in a tough spot here. Every perished synergy monster gains 500, so there are 11. So that is 7,500 Blitz Magnum. Going into Mecha Unification. Searching their deck for a Mecha type to add to their hand that can be played regardless of class. What will the card be? Gonna go into Axehead Critter. Because it's a class 1, they get to draw 2 more cards. Vascanatomy still having plenty of health. Bob is going to need to really represent a strong offense here to draw Vascanatomy out. But as you can see, their deck is running out. Their asset is lower. But they do have the most powerful monster on the board. By default, but you know, it's still there. You know, it's fine. Come on, it's fine. Go on, be. We got a draw of 2. We got a roll of 5, I believe it was. If you're in Bob's shoes, I think you got to make the most of potentially that second axe head. We're going to go into a Lancer Mechanism. Holy smokes. This is very unusual. So Lancer Mechanism is typically a card you discard from your hand to pop a card in play. But it looks like he's just going to use them for beat sticks. We're going in and we're swinging hard. Mechanized engaging for 3 damage. Does Vascanatomy wish to respond? It's not sudden death yet. Bob is going to need to have some sort of end game here or it is going to be over. Unfortunately, Lancer is very weak at 1250 for a class 5, so it's really just here as a body to act as a additional attack in this case. If they can get Vascanatomy a little bit lower, and they've dropped him to 2. Alright, the game gets a little bit closer. We are going to Droid Eye though. Droid Eye will gain the able to specially move a monster in play and add 2 droid cards from the deck to their hand, which will shut off that Blitz Magnum. Let's just see if Vascanatomy chooses correctly. Actually, sorry, they don't command a droid monster, so they won't be able to specially move it. They can't specially move, okay. Whew! Very lucky for Bob there. That misplay might be huge. Dang. That is very lucky for Bob. So we're going to go into Droid Jam. Okay. Droid Jam hitting field. Definitely trying to keep their droids alive. Droids, typically, you're not going to roll that 6 every single time, but when you do, at the worst moment, it is game-changing. 7 out of 10. Vascanatomy takes the turn, facing a 7,500 Blitz Magnum. How are they going to deal with this guy? That is a good question. I have no idea. Roll of 1. Less cards they can play. Is this where Bob turns it around? Is this their moment where things start to look up? Or has Vascanatomy prepared for this situation? Buffing up Blitz Magnum again. Vascanatomy passes! Okay, it's Bob's move. Roll of 4. Blitz Magnum rises again on its final turn, reaching a whopping 18,500. Holy smokes, this guy is going for gold. Does Bob have what it takes to win this match? It is not sudden death yet, but they could win this match. They're going to use Slicer Kit to make the remaining cards in their parish piles into synergies. Going Blitz Magnum, going for 1. Going for 2. Does Vascanatomy have what it takes to survive? And Bear Soldier! Bear Soldier hits the field. Immediately blocking and acting as a shield. It will reduce both of Bob's monsters by 500, all 3 of them actually. Won't really matter for Blitz Magnum, but it will make those Lance mechanisms so much weaker. That could change the outcome of this matchup. As stated though, Bob does have what it takes to get over that Bear Soldier. Engaging Bear Soldier. Bear Soldier is gone. Still, 2 attacks is all they need to win this matchup. They're going in for another 2. Bear Soldier again! Holy smokes! They will just not let him through at all. Bear Soldier comes down, drops everything by 500 yet again. Brutal matchup. Mechanisms now just only 250 on their stat line. And while Blitz Magnum is still 17,500. They're just going to clone that Blitz Magnum there, as it is until the end of the game it gets that boost. Going into cooldown and then hand refill. Blitz Magnum is gone. But Bob still has some monsters in play, which inevitably will be helpful. Roll of 3. 9 out of 10 turns. Droid Jammer hits the field. Droid Jammer allows them to search their deck for another droid card added to their hand. They're going to go on a droid. Vascanatomy definitely putting droids on the map in this matchup. That misplay with Axe Head seems to have cost Bob in a huge way. We're going to go double Honor Droid. Adding 500 to each other, making 2 1500 Honor Droids. Both Lances looking very small now. Going into conflict. Is this it? Is Bob in a horrible position? Going now, taking out second Mechanized. We're going in! Has Vascanatomy ended it? Is this the end of the match? Any response? Bob goes Mutated Super Soldier. This allows them to, while in play, can't perish while their enemy commands 3 or more monsters. And in the case they do have 3, do they have Bear Soldier? I believe he will, but does he? He does indeed. He's got Bear Soldier, so Mutated Super Soldier is a correct play in this case. Very nice play there from Bob. What does Vascanatomy want to do in this scenario? They could go Droid Eye. Oh, they're going to pass it over, it looks. Going Blitz Magnum again. We started over again. Blitz Magnum rising. A second Blitz Magnum now. This is the 10th of the 10th turn, which means this is the final turn before sudden death. We roll a 4. Blitz Magnum is going to gain a total of 8,000. That's right, you heard me. 8,000, making it 10,000 on its first turn that it can attack. Super Soldier going to boost itself by 1,000. Mutated Super Soldier goes to 3650. Bob taking back the advantage of the board. The issue is, can he put down anything else to really hammer it home, or is he running out of options? Vascanatomy looking very strong at the moment. Going to conflict. Blitz Magnum is engaging on a droid. Roll of 3. Interesting choice to go after honor droids, I guess because they are bigger. What is the roll? What can Vascanatomy do? Once again, eliminating those droids is good, but it also means that there's no opportunity for them to be blown by their own specialty, which does suck. Marine guarding. Okay. Bob's forced to pass the turn. But drawing out that Marine Guard is definitely going to be helpful for later on. Once again, droids do not have the high-powered cards they need to pop things. They have to beat over them to really win. So in this case, Bob is going to have to use it to their advantage. Unfortunately, the 5 is not enough to deal with honor droids. They needed a 6 for that to be removed. Super Soldier remains unshakable with 3 monsters on Vascanatomy's side of the field. Steel Edge Blitz Magnum rising even further to 18,000. Passing over immediately. Super Soldier. Asking Bob if they have anything they want to do before Vascanatomy passes it over. We are in sudden death. Any wounding is lethal, and Bob only needs 1 shot to win this match. Roll of 4. Blitz Magnum on its final turn. Bob will need to make the most of it. Going to 26,500. Blitz Magnum rising to such an incredible level. Blitz Magnum engaging on a droid. Does Vascanatomy allow it this time? In this Mecha Civil War. Let's see what Vascanatomy has in store for the rest of us. Takes it down. Blitz Magnum fading away now. Magnum is cloned. Just to show that what it was when it perished. That will definitely come in handy later. And they will have to pass the turn, leaving themselves wide open. Is this the end for Bob? Rolling, and they get a roll of 1. A very big roll here for Vascanatomy. That roll there might have just determined the end of this match. We're going to go to conflict. If Bob cannot play anything, we're going to go to Bear Soldier from Bob. Bear Soldier from Bob has absolutely shut this down. Dropping it by 500. And that'll be enough to stop the Bear Soldier and the enemy honor droid from engaging further. With a roll of 1, Vascanatomy does not have a lot of other options. Can Bob switch this match around? We're in sudden death. Bob rolling now. What is the roll? The roll hits the field. Waiting. Bob is in such a precarious position here. Can they pull off a comeback? Roll of 4. That should give them some options, something to work with. Some sort of way they can break through. This is where they need to mobilize. The roll of 1, roll of 4. Health points at 1. Slicer Kit making more and more synergies. What can Bob do in this situation? Synergy Overdrive. This is a card that allows them to, if they have 7 or more synergy monsters in the perish pile, which generally can only be done due to Steel Edge, you can play a perished synergy monster whose original timer is more than 1. That monster's original timer is reduced by 1, it gains an additional attack each time its power changes, and it cannot perish in the turn it is played by this effect. So we are looking at a very big... which one did he pick is a good question. I imagine he picked the biggest one. So we're looking at a total of 26,500. $26,500 is engaging the Bear Soldier. It only lasts for 3 turns, but that is all Bob needs to really take over this match. Vascanatomy in a tough position here. Once they go into the assets, will they be able to keep up with Bob is the question. Bear is gone. Is Onodroid gone? Thinking it over. Vascanatomy making a strong case for the droid deck. Okay, Onodroid is gone as well. 20 minutes left in the matchup. Going to cooldown. Passing it over. Now keep in mind, every time that Blitz Magnum's power changes, it will gain additional attack. Just calculating it now. Going 2 attacks. That additional attack could be pretty big for Bob, as a 3-attack Blitz Magnum on the next turn will be very scary if they can rip through Vascanatomy's asset pile. But once again, there's nothing really guaranteed. It's a really tough position to be in. Printed Droid is coming down from Vascanatomy. It's a good card. Good for defense, but it's not good outside of that. Vascanatomy's going to need to figure out how they are going to win this matchup. Droid Eye, Special Moving Blitz Magnum is not a bad way to start though. That will shut off Blitz Magnum, but Blitz Magnum still has the additional attacks. They're going to add 2 droid cards to hand and Special Moving the Blitz Magnum. Good play there from Vascanatomy, but Bob will still have +1 attack. So Blitz goes to 3 attacks on the next turn. Very good. Good for Bob there to get the additional attacks. Let's see if they can turn this match around. Vascanatomy having to weigh up their options now. Especially moving that Blitz Magnum might be costly for Vascanatomy in the future. We'll have to see. Go check the perish pile now. We've got 1 regen, so maybe Bob has another. We'll have to see. Going slot droid and another printer droid. That slot droid will be very tough for Bob to deal with. Okay, we're going in. Now, Vascanatomy will not be able to finish the match. They can go after Blitz Magnum here, but they will not have big enough to deal with the Bear Soldier. Okay, so it won't gain its power back, but it will get its specialty back. The only issue is... And we're going to Savage Dual Shield the turn. Great play there from Bob. It will not change the power, however. Going to 4 attacks on Blitz Magnum. Racing. Holy smokes! This thing's going to gain 9,500. Holy smokes. 11,500 with 4 attacks. And Bob's going to roll. What is Bob getting? Bob has to roll. They got a 5. 5 will not kill anything on Vascanatomy's board. Blitz Magnum is very big right now. Vascanatomy in a very scary position. Game is not over yet, though. Can Bob make this a win? Vascanatomy has looking to have it all ready to go. Bear Soldier engages the printer droid. It's a good play. Because either way, Vascan's going to use a printer droid to protect the slot droid. Which is annoying, but it is the correct play. Now, a good play here from Vascanatomy would be using that other printer droid to protect the first one. And that way, that other printer droid cannot be attacked again, and they would survive this turn. But, unfortunately, it seems they have missed that, so that leaves Bob still with something left in the tank, and now they can engage printer droid with the first attack of Blitz Magnum. But what are we going to see from Vascanatomy? Marine Guard, okay. This is the last Marine Guard from Vascanatomy. It's brutal for Bob in this one moment, but if Bob has a way to get multi-attacks in the future, this will change everything. We'll have to see. There may be a way Bob can get some sort of additional attacks here. If he can, Vascanatomy running out of defensive options, and their asset pile may not be enough to deal with. In a roll of 6, both of his droids are gone! Unless he activates Printer Droid. And he doesn't use Printer Droid. Okay, so that 6 is huge. Another misplay from Vascanatomy. If they had used Printer Droid, they could have protected their slot droid. Unfortunately, they did not, and they have lost their board. We did say at some point they would roll that 6, and it would be costly. The question is, what do you do now if you're Vascanatomy? Bob has a very big Blitz Magnum they can drop on the next turn, and if they can get it to 5 attacks, they could probably go through the entire asset pile of Vascanatomy, especially if Vascanatomy does not have War Gear. This is a very, very dangerous position. Desolation Droid. Deltro. Using the specialty to discard a card from hand. Getting additional attacks. They've already discarded the card. Unfortunately, another tough misplay there for Vascanatomy. One thing to develop with Deltro is he actually just gives additional attacks when he's played. He doesn't need to be played through his specialty to get the additional attacks. He can just be played in general. The specialty just helps. But he will be getting a total of... Holy smokes. Okay, so Desolation Droid now has 3 attacks and Deltro has 2. We've got 5 attacks on board. Here we go. Desolation Droid's at 3 attacks and Deltra's at 2. 5 attacks in total. Bob once again staring death in the face. Can they find a way out of this predicament? Can they bring Steel Edge back to where they were? We'll have to see. Bob with only 4 cards in hand. 2 cards in asset. 10 minutes remaining of the match. If they can survive for another 10 minutes, they can pull off a draw. But will Vascanatomy allow them to survive for another 10 minutes? That is the question. Deltro engages Bear. Could be a fatal play, but let's see if Bob has got what it takes. Roll of 6. Bob. Savage Dual Shield blocks the attack. Oh, here we go. Oh boy, okay, here we go. This just got real. Bob has rolled what they needed. Well, not rolled, they have played what they needed, and now they've got the turn again. They can go for a roll. And they're going to roll for 2. Which means less options for Vascanatomy, but also could be less options for Bob. What do they go into? Will we see that asset? Here we go, he's dipping in. He might be going for it, we'll have to see. Is Bob going to put it all on the line with one more play? What will we go? What is he going to go into? Running out of time. Running out of resources. Bob is going to have to make a very difficult decision. We're going, Blitzkaiser! Blitzkaiser has hit the field. Their apex has arrived. 2 Mecha-type asset monsters are in the perish pile. Blitzkaiser at 4,000 hits the field. It is no timer. And when it initiates a conflict, it gains power equal to the current power of 1 perished Mecha-type monster until that conflict ends, which means it is going to be gaining 17,500, 21,500, engaging Desolation Droid. Huge play there from Bob. Huge power. But it may not be enough. Attacking the droid. Okay, Blitzkaiser is also no timer. Big thing for Bob here. Passing the turn over. Vascanatomy rolls for turn. Rolling first. Rolling a 5. That would have killed their own Desolation Droid. Oh, that sucks for Bob there. But they did have to get rid of it just in case they didn't get that roll. Desolation Droid again. Ooh, hold on. Hold on. Boss Cannon. Will that work? Unfortunately not. They can definitely do that. We've got a response from Bob. We've got a response. Boss Cannon is a problem. We're going to War Gear. Holy smokes, War Gear is hitting the field. That's going to special with a monster in play. Upon doing so, it will add another 1,000 to a synergy monster, or just a monster in play. But if they don't pick a synergy, and the regen hits. Regen hits. But keep in mind, Desolation Droid cannot take out Blitz. Playing Mirror Droid. They can do that. It will take the specialty of Desolation Droid, which was given the specialty of Boss Cannon. Holy smokes. It is not more than double the highest power, which is Desolation Droid. So this is huge. Mirror copies. This means so we're going to go Mirror Droid copying Desolation Droid. Okay, so it is unable to use it on Blitz Kaiser, which means Blitz Kaiser still remains the biggest monster! Okay. This could be a problem though, because if Desolation Droid, if Mirror Droid can do it, during player's turn, it's like monster in play, his current power is more than the current power of your strongest monster in play, so that will be usable if it... But Desolation Droid is still in play. Does he crash Desolation Droid? It is a viable play. Crashing here would definitely set Vascanatomy up for the play they need. Does Vascanatomy have the foresight to crash Desolation Droid to set up Mirror Droid? If they do, they can break through and use Mirror Droid to pop the Blitz Kaiser. And they choose pass the turn. Okay, if you are Bob, you need to kill that Mirror Droid immediately. You need to murder it with intent. You need to kill that thing so quickly because you're in so much trouble. Bob, you need to get rid of that Mirror Droid. I'm going to be honest with you. If you do not kill that Mirror Droid, you are crazy. Why would you attack Desolation? No! Oh, why would you do that? Oh, why would you do that? Oh my gosh. Why would you do that? Why would you kill the Desolation Droid? You could leave it and kill Mira and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. Oh man, this play. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Come on, Bob, why would you attack Desolation? The whole point was to kill Mira so it couldn't boss cannon you. Far out, Bob. That means he's still got Mira left. Mirror Droid. If you had have attacked Mirror Droid, you could have dealt with it, but now he's going to be able to board wipe you. Space Cannon has been copied, so it will stick around enough to take out that Blitz Kaiser. Mirror Droid can use a specialty to deal with the Blitz Kaiser. This will mean that Bob is left with no monsters left. It is gone and marked extinct. Bob is left wide open once again. Vascanatomy engages the board. Roll of 4. Will not lose his board. Bob once again left with nothing in play. Going any response. Going for game. That is game. Vascanatomy claims victory with only so little left over. Congratulations, Vascanatomy, on your huge win. Tough match there for Bob. Well played, everybody. This has been Tom, and that was the match of the week. What a long one. See you guys later.